Welcome back to KEEPUP channel. How a 3-star migrant hotel in Barbican became a living nightmare for locals, blazing mattresses and a TV hurled from windows, and no fewer than 41 guests charged with 90 offenses ranging from rape to sexual assault, robbery, and bag snatching. Woken by police to be told that his car had been damaged, Ufwolma Odo wasn't prepared for the scene that confronted him. The Volvo XC40, parked on the street around the corner from his London flat, was missing its rear windscreen, smashed by a television hurled out of the window of a nearby hotel room. In the past, such loudish antics were the preserve of rich, drug-addled rock stars. Today, it's just part of the day-to-day reality of living alongside one of the many hotels now given over to asylum seekers. Because, as 49-year-old Mr. Odo discovered, the free board and lodging laid on courtesy of the British taxpayer is absolutely no guarantee of good behavior. At first, police searched the first 2 floors of the hotel, discovered no TVs were missing, and closed the case, the council worker explained of the incident last month. Then the manager found a TV missing on the 4th floor and called the police, who arrested the person who did it. They took him to the police station and questioned him, but they claimed there was not enough proof as nobody had seen him throw the TV out of the window. I said, but the manager told you he did it. Is that not enough? They insisted it wasn't. When Mr. Odo complained to the Home Office about what had happened, he was told that he should take the matter up with his insurers. Rather than make a claim and push up his premiums, he has now shelled out £750 of his own money to make good the damage. And Mr. Odo is far from alone in counting the cost, financial, emotional and more, of living next to migrant lodgings. Last weekend, the Mail on Sunday revealed the shocking scale of serious crime committed by asylum seekers living in hotels and communities across Britain. An audit of court records found that of occupants at 70 hotels, just a third of those used, a remarkable 312 had been charged with 708 criminal offences. Most shocking of all was the finding that one hotel alone, the 3-star Thistle City Barbican in London, had seen 41 migrants listed at the address charged with more than 90 offences in the past year alone. Today, a closer analysis of those crimes paints a worrying picture of the real-life impact of placing asylum seekers, including those who have crossed the channel in small boats, in the heart of towns and cities. Charges brought include rape, arson, sexual assault, affray, actual bodily harm, strangulation, robbery, theft, and shoplifting. Knife crime and drink and drug offenses are commonplace, as are attacks on police officers going about their duties. Those accused of the crimes are all men, with the vast majority aged in their 20s and 30s. Many of those convicted are dealt with by means of suspended or community sentences. In a number of cases, warrants have been issued for arrest after defendants failed to attend court hearings. Financial penalties and costs were also often waived because the defendants were found to have no means. Given that the London hotel has recently also been identified as a hub for illegal working, some will regard that as a particular irony. Only last month, pictures emerged of migrants, who are not permitted to work, riding off in Deliveroo, Just Eat and Uber Eats jackets to deliver food, while electric bikes were seen outside. And, of course, as Mr. Odo, who lives near the hotel, discovered, the records only show offences that come to court. This week those who reside and work near the property told how day-to-day life in the area has been blighted by constant disturbances and antisocial behavior. This area is very, very dangerous, said Bleeder Kurjo, who runs the Greek Grill Point restaurant. My customers won't come after 9 p.m. because they feel scared. They see people standing outside the hotel smoking, screaming, hanging around this place. They come inside and order me to bring them what they want and demand a discount. Sometimes they leave £1. Sometimes they just take it. What can I do in front of my customers? I cannot run after them. Other residents told of police being called around the clock and of seeing items including burning mattresses thrown out of the hotel's windows. The threat of harassment by groups of men was a repeated concern. At the corner bar in the nearby King Square estate, the landlady recalled how 2 weeks ago 2 young women sought refuge in her premises to get away from residents of the hotel, who were filming them on a camera. We have been over to the hotel loads of time, the woman, who asked not to be named, said. They say, once they are off the premises, we don't care. They hang around the square, drinking all day. Kids are scared to walk about on their own. The latest revelations come amid Britain's worsening small boats crisis, as well as fast-rising tension in communities that are home to migrant hotels. Protests in Epping, Essex, first began outside the Bell Hotel nearly 2 weeks ago, after 38-year-old Ethiopian asylum seeker Hadesh Kabadu was accused of sexually assaulting a schoolgirl within days of arriving in the UK on a small boat. He denies the charges. Dozens of anti-migrant protesters then descended on another hotel in Canary Wharf after false rumors were circulated that it was being used to house those relocated from the Bell. After last summer's race riots, there are fears in government that the protests may spread further. Currently, 32,000 asylum seekers are housed in hotels at a cost of £3 billion per year. The 460-room Thistle City Barbican opened its doors to migrants in November 2021, having signed an exclusive use contract with the government. Accounts show that the deal has brought in more than £10 million a year for the hotel, which is part of the Claremont Hotel Group. Yesterday, a spokesperson said they were unable to comment on the goings-on at the property because it operates under a private booking. When it used to cater for paying customers, much was made of its location. The property is situated in upmarket Islington and is close to the Barbican Centre, the Museum of London and the city. But nowadays, its proximity to popular and wealthy areas of the capital has facilitated activities other than sightseeing, something that the case of Algerian asylum seeker Hossein Bougueroua exemplifies with depressing clarity. Precisely when the 34-year-old arrived in the UK is unclear, but by last November he was living in the hotel and taking advantage of its location to pursue a life of crime. CCTV footage captured him at work at a city centre pub. Bearded, burly, and dressed in a cap and puffer jacket, he could be seen swigging his drink and waiting for an opportunity to steal a bag that its owner had briefly left on the floor by the bar. Checking the coast was clear, he then picked up the bag, which appears to contain a laptop, and hurriedly left the premises. All in a matter of seconds. It was clearly a well-worked routine and one that earlier this year brought him to the attention of City of London police. Having linked a number of his crimes, they first arrested Bougueroua in January, when he was charged and then bailed by the court. Undeterred, he carried on stealing bags until he was arrested a second time a month later, when he was held on remand. Venues targeted included the Jugged Hare, half a mile from the hotel, the Lord Raglan and the Barbican Centre, both a mile away. The total value of items stolen came to more than £10,000. He was also caught using stolen credit cards and in possession of crack cocaine, and diazepam. He pleaded guilty to a string of offences and in May was sentenced to 24 weeks imprisonment. Under current rules that see sentences served dramatically reduced, and taking into account time spent on remand, Bougueroua will by now have been released from prison. Only sentences of 12 months or more trigger automatic deportation for foreign nationals, meaning by now he will be free to pursue his asylum claim and get back to stealing bags in pubs. A Home Office spokesperson said, "While it remains our long-standing policy not to comment on individual cases, we are determined to take swift and decisive action to remove failed asylum seekers, foreign national offenders, and other immigration offenders." In this government's first year in office, over 35,000 such individuals have been returned, including 5,179 foreign criminals, an increase of 14% compared to the previous year. Records of other offences linked to migrants at the hotel give a flavour of the disorder they have brought to the area. Particularly galling is the extent of damage inflicted on the property itself, damage that taxpayers will ultimately have to pay for, resulting from numerous cases of criminal damage, arson with intent to endanger life and assault. Meanwhile, 2 men at the hotel have been charged with serious sexual offences, including a 29-year-old who was accused last autumn of sexually assaulting a woman on a train and then attacking 2 police officers. In a separate case, a 47-year-old was charged with sexual assault and the oral and anal rape of a man. Both cases were sent to the Crown Court and are understood to be proceeding. Another man was charged with harassment and the intentional strangulation of a woman. There have also been a number of incidents involved the assault of police officers, male and female. Hamza Selha, 37, admitted assaulting two police officers last November, damaging a police cell, racially or religiously aggravated assault and criminal damage. He was given a community order and ordered to do 200 hours unpaid work and to abstain from alcohol for 120 days. Then there have been thefts, burglaries and robberies, including two shoplifters at Selfridges, in Oxford Street, earlier this year and another who stole £590 worth of goods from Tesco. The youngest of those to face criminal charges is aged just 18. In April, the teenager was accused of stealing more than £40,000 in cash from a business premises in southwest London, having robbed a man of the keys. It is hardly surprising that businesses and residents alike have been badly affected by the hotel's change of use. One cafe owner, who asked not to be identified, said, "I'm paying tax, my rent is £30,000 a year, but the customers are not coming because of the hotel for the refugees. Before, when this was a normal hotel, I had too many customers. Now, my business is going downhill. The people are always making trouble and people don't want to walk down here. They are always sitting, eating, drinking and smoking outside the hotel and they throw everything on the road. I'm constantly cleaning outside my shop, every day." Speaking from her flat opposite the hotel, hospitality worker Sky Jones, 24, told how she was often subjected to unwanted attention from men hanging around the hotel. She said, "I have experienced it in the morning. They will congregate around outside. It's not ideal. It makes you feel unsafe. The police are always here. My flatmates have said they feel very uncomfortable walking back home past the hotel. The main thing for me is the safety aspect. It's just not safe." Mum of three Emma Andrews, 37, agreed, saying she would regularly see men from the hotel sit and ogle all the young girls playing in the park. She said, "Another mum and I had to call the police the other day as a guy was walking around off his face. He kept trying to approach a mum in the park. They are approaching people all the time. I won't walk the dog here anymore." As for local resident Nikki Boley, she won't let her two boys, aged 3 and 5, play in the park without being part of a large group. "On the day of the King's coronation, I had a christening for my son," said the 33-year-old. "And someone threw a lit mattress out of a window at the hotel. We had the fire brigade here and lots of drama. I had family come from all over for the day and they probably thought, where does she live? The hotel needs to be shut down." A simple enough plea. But, given the state of Britain's borders and the Labour government's stalling attempts to control them, one that looks unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.